All right, and we're off.
Yep, and since this is a standard seed, we're not going to see any divergence right now. Our runners are going to have to do the Zelda escape sequence and bring her back to the sanctuary before they can start moving around. And we see a red crystal in Desert Palace, and I didn't see the other two, but I'll catch them on a restream.
So it was the Crystal 6, the Fat Fairy Crystal in Eastern, and the Pendant actually in Desert there.
Yep, the Pendant in Desert, a Crystal in Tower Hera, and a 5/6 at Eastern. To answer a question in chat, Squishy, this is actually game 3, so it was a random decision. The game modes are randomly decided, but each player had a veto. DarkShadows59 vetoed all dungeons. AcktheBoker vetoed Uncle Shirt.
All right, when you see the worst start, in my opinion, for randomized weapons, which is the 10 bomb, definitely the slowest standard we'll see, and you're going to see some interesting strategies to kind of dispose of the guards here.
Yeah, the bomb start actually might be the worst for the runners, but in terms of analyzing runner strategies, it's actually pretty enlightening because not only do they have to use the bombs to clear out the guards, but they're going to want to save a bomb for the backside of escape. So the key rat is going to be the final boss of this sequence.
They'll have 4 bombs remaining for that key rat to use, so unless it gets really bad. And actually, Ack with some really good timing there with a throw and a drop. That was nice. Because I've seen like drop strategies in a throw, but that was really aggressive. It was nice. And Dark utilizing the drop strategies I was just alluding to. So we're seeing kind of a different from both schools of thought there.
Yeah, but either way, the aggressive strategy paying off for both of them. Because it would be incredibly easy for the random it would be incredibly easy for the bomb to just kick the guard in a random direction away from the second bomb.
All right, and as we see our runners approach the final boss of this dungeon, so the Hyrule Escape, we're going to see pots being utilized in the ball chain just to save those bombs. And also, it's going to be much quicker. It would take 4 bombs to dispose of the ball and chain, and it's just not effective for time. So that's why you're going to see them pick the pots here.
Yep, it's just going to be 2 pots.
Now, what I've dabbled in, I've seen a couple of other runners do, is they'll actually drop 1 bomb, throw it, and actually bomb boost the ball and chain guard farther or closer to the pots. But it's really kind of risky because you can always blast them further to the back. So you don't see very many runners attempt it.
Oh yeah, that would be a really aggressive play. It would save you a bit of time. I might save you a bit of time.
I mean,
you're exactly how much time it would save.
Yeah, you're talking about frames to a second at that point, but every second counts in these kind of races. So, especially in the group stages, we've seen a lot of close finishes already. So, you're definitely going to see like those minor time saves just add up throughout the run.
Absolutely, runs can be decided by the barest of margins if the run is sufficiently close execution wise.
So also just to kind of illustrate why bombs is the slowest or how slow it is compared to other variants, they're entering, or Ack at least is entering, the chamber doors. That's usually whenever you would enter into the Dark Sewers time, about a 420. So he's going to be entering about 434. So yeah, about 14 to 18 seconds longer on average for bombs.
Yeah, and that's really all just to do with the unpredictability of the bomb explosion and how the guards move before you even let your bomb go.
and still no anything. Just the tunic, just some piece of heart. I think there's a 20 rupee in there, I'm not sure, but not a whole lot going on to start.
Yeah, this has been a really weak escape so far. Hopefully the back has something.
All right, and Ack utilizing kind of a suicide tactic there, just holding onto the bomb and running right into the key rat. That's pretty much the safe way to do it. Meanwhile, Dark is trying to throw some bombs at him, but the rat's just not participating right now. He's actually running away. This could be rough.
Ooh, 3 bombs, 1 heart. He can't afford suicide shots anymore.
Did you see that stall on that key rat? Oh my god!
Oh, good lord! That rat is having none of it.
Okay, there we go. But he's gonna miss on the left side of him, which is fine because it didn't look like it was anything from. Oh, okay, he's gonna do a death warp here to get his bombs back.
Because as it happens, in standard mode only, if you get a weapon that requires the resource and you take a death before you hit the sanctuary, the game will actually refund you a little bit of those resources.
And just for the time, I'm not really quite sure if it's gonna be faster or slower. I'm gonna assume slower, but the other advantage to that, not just checking out the Hyrule Castle checks, but now he's gonna have bombs for Kakariko as well, so he's not gonna have to worry about getting money or perhaps farming for bombs and wasting some more time in Kakariko. So the death warp actually was a pretty good heads up play.
Yep, there are 3 locations where you need bombs, and he's going to have 2 of them, and he's going to have that tree pole, which I guarantee you a runner of this caliber is going to check.
Yeah, and just as I say it, Ack gets the bomb tree pole, so so much for that.
Really light on items so far. Hopefully Kakariko has something for us.
It usually is a precursor to like a loaded Kakariko or a South Shore Moldorm cave area, so we'll have to see how this kind of turns out. I've also experienced some seeds where it's just like you get like nothing until like Sash Cave Eastern too, so I'm kind of hoping for that personally, just because those are kind of more of the fun seeds, because it really lightens up on Light World, but we'll see how it goes.
Coming into Blind's Hut, we'll see what we get here. The fighter shield first off. We got a lift upgrade, which is useful.
And more bombs.
No, certainly not wanting for bombs.
Okay, so Dark is going to actually check out Lumberjacks here. Ack did not elect to check this, so we'll be getting a clean scout on this, while Ack actually goes ahead and checks what's in the well for us today.
Getting the flippers.
And just 10 arrows in Lumberjacks, so Aghanim right now not required.
Might always be required for a Dark Ward access if our runners don't get it with the hammer.
Correct. So that's a very good item for normal swordless there, what Ack just got. So he got the Cane of Burna. Normally kind of a meme item in like a standard seed. Doesn't get a lot of use. But you pair that blue cane with like a half magic boots combo, and you're going to be like flying through the sea with a lot of cane dashes. There's quite a bit of rooms too you can utilize it in long stretches like Pod and I want to say Thieves is where I would normally use it a lot too. So it's going to be interesting to see what they utilize with that.
Absolutely. As well as some rooms in Turtle Rock, you can get a lot of mileage out of it.
And hey, it's technically a weapon to beat a boss like, say, Lemolus Worms, so We'll see how the seed goes for the start. Maybe you will
That's
be
a
blessed.
nasty kill,
Get
though.
that.
I wouldn't wish a Cane of Burn Land Molus on anybody.
And we do see the silvers there in race game, a quintessential item for swordless mode. So, for people in chat wondering, well, how do you defeat Ganon in a swordless seed? So the game is modified to allow for hammer strikes to damage Ganon, and in that fourth phase, you can't actually do like spins like you normally would. So it would either be frame perfect inputs for the hammer, or you would be utilizing silver arrows. And silver arrows are so useful in that fight because of how difficult it is. It's pretty much worth the runner's time to scout it out. So they're going to be relieved that they get that early and it's out of the way.
Absolutely. Not to mention it trivializes a lot of the boss fights along the way. Like Vitreous is going to be nothing with silvers.
Yeah, and again, being normal mode, they are able to utilize those silvers once they find the bow. So no hard mode shenanigans where it's just Ganon. It's gonna be they're gonna be able to use those the second they get that bow, and that's really nice to early swordless if you can get that.
Absolutely. Bow and hammer are probably the best item, the best weapons to have in a swordless seed. The silver arrows do massive damage to every enemy, and the hammer does tempered level damage.
All right, and just 20 rupees in the flooded, or I guess the the unflooded lake there by the dam.
And actually, that was a green 20, which means that would have been one of the swords if we were not running a swordless seed. So whenever you see that green rupee with a number 20 on it, that's where a sword would be. AcktheBoker doing a very good bomb Moldorm cave. Then I said something and that Moldorm walked himself against the wall.
I was gonna say, pick up the magic axe. You know you need it. All right.
And I saw him looking at it.
Another good item there in swordless early without a weapon is that blue boomerang, and we also see a flute and titan mitts. So intriguing start. A lot of variety there. We have almost Dark World access. All we really need now is a Moon Pearl. We also could be a couple of items away from some interesting scenarios, such as that mirror could actually allow for, like, say, a Moon Pearl in checkerboard. So I think Zora's area might open it up a little bit with the flippers early, but we'll see how everything goes.
Absolutely. And that flute also opens up a couple item checks in Death Mountain. It's not really an efficient play right now without either the mirror or the hook shot, but it's an option for our runners.
Right. They might elect to check it early just to get the warp out of the way, and both our runners are more than capable to do the Dark Room for Uncle as well. Sorry, Old Man. I always mess up those two on my streams, so... But yeah, they might just do that to get the warp out of the way, and possibly the hints with the Spectacle Rock Cave check.
Mm-hmm. In version 30 of the randomizer, the telepathic hint tiles that would normally, that in the vanilla game have like little hints from Sahasrara to Link, include hints now on item locations that would normally be abandoned very early, like Basement at Hera, Left Side Swamp, that sort of thing.
All right, so I like this play. It's pretty aggressive from Act. He's going to go ahead and check Sash now. He knows he has Zora area and the flippers unlocked, but he's just going to go for the first 3 chests he can get his hands on. It's probably the fastest chest per minute right now he can accomplish, so I really like this play from him.
Absolutely. You got to play to the item density when you have when you don't have a lot available to you.
Oh, and he's going to get rewarded now with that flute. He's going to have his first bottle here, so he can go ahead and flute to 3 if he wants to, and check in to Sick Kid. He has a couple of other plays ahead of him. He can flute to 8 and check out Ice Rock Cave Zora area. He can also flute to 6 and get a quick scout at Desert Ledge and maybe even do a Gina's Cave. So the flute really does open up a lot of mobility possibilities early on.
Yeah. And it looks like he's doing the Ice Rod play. He's probably going to loop back to 3 because he's got that bottle, as you said. A play into Eastern wouldn't be terrible, but it also wouldn't be the most advisable.
Given the current checks, I wouldn't mind the play, honestly, because you might have to do it anyways. It could be a play that can get you in Dark World faster. It's just one of those things you have to weigh. If you feel behind, if you feel kind of the same, how do you feel about the seed so far, kind of thing. So I don't think Ack's going to make that play personally. I don't know if Dark Shadows will either, but we'll have to wait and see how our runners kind of adapt to this start.
Yeah, because normally if you look at the items that you have in inventory, they can start to suggest where you need to go next. But with the items that we have right now, we don't really have a suggestion. The seed isn't really pulling us anywhere.
Yeah, as funny as it may seem, getting those early flippers might prescribe that you have to go to the Zora area, but we might actually just find junk here because, I mean, the randomizer is going to do what the randomizer wants, essentially, right? So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to assume the Pearl will be next and find out where that's going to be.
Yep, and that Pearl is going to send us probably in the Dark World through Village of Outcasts.
Also, interesting note right now, just quickly point out, Dark Shadows actually has very low magic, and AcktheBoker has a full bar. So without a hammer or any other kind of weapon, that blue cane is pretty much it. And we do see Dark Shadows getting the Pearl there in Zora's Waterfall, so that's a good find for him.
Yep, like you were saying, the flippers and the lift upgrade sort of suggesting Zora. And both of our runners have the money needed to make the Zora check to see what he's got for us today.
All right, let's see what the King of the Fish is going to have for us today. And just like most of the seed, pretty junk, just the 10 arrows. It looks like Dark is going to either loop in or he's going to grab that hard upgrade. And then probably save and quit.
And with the lift upgrade, flippers, and moon pearl in hand, Aghanim is no longer strictly required for Dark World access, since you can just jump off a ledge in northeastern Dark World and get over to the Palace of Darkness area without the hammer. Granted, you'll need the hammer to get through Palace of Darkness, but
right, and as I kind of was anticipating, Dark is going to be going right to Dark World here. Ack's going to be able to flute over. He's actually going to check the mountain. This is interesting. I kind of like the play, actually, just to get the old man out of the way now. It is a sequence break without the lamp, but just the ability to have that quick warp available in the mountain is going to be time-saving down the road. Say they need to go back to the mountain a couple of times. So it's a good idea to get it out of the way. I don't think it's going to plus or minus him time throughout the run, so it's just one of those checks he just wants to get out of the way now.
Yeah, although the warp might save him a little bit of time, depending on where the lamp turns up in the seed. The lamp could potentially be in Tower of Hera if we find the mirror soon.
All right, and Dark Shadows electing to do another play I mentioned earlier, which was flute to 6 and check out the desert area. He is going to go ahead and check out Agina's. I think this for him is a little bit of a play to maybe get an edge on Ack. Could be reading a little bit too much into it, but I normally like doing this play as well. Especially with the early flutes, not very time consuming. It's almost like a couple seconds longer than say an Ice Rod cave checks. So balance that's about the same.
Especially since Agina tends to be that location that just gets orphaned a whole lot of the time.
Oh, yeah.
And they can definitely come back to bite your runners. Just 2 pieces of the heart in the vicinity of Spectacle Rock, and the hint that the Mimic Cave is garbage.
And Ack actually going ahead and making a similar play. This is interesting. Okay, no, he's just going for the scout. Does he go to Mire area first? I imagine he does. Yeah, he's going to go and scout this out. Yeah, he wants to see what the medallion is for Mire, and he's also going to get 2 quick items in Mire Shed here. Dark Shadow is going to follow suit. We see, oh baby, Pendant Swamp. Pendant Swamp, Pendant Skull, Fat Fairy TR. So that means that now advantage Ack if this is a late hook shot and we get early boots. Ack is a prolific hover, almost meme levels of hover. So if he gets those early boots, we're probably going to see a lot of it.
Yep, and we saw that Ether is our access to Mire.
All right, and just a second bottle there in the Mire set. So not a whole lot going on there. I think the information was probably the key point of that check. Especially since now that they know it's a crystal, it's double worth on that information in the map check and the medallion. So we're going to see our runners go to 3 now. Check out the Village of Outcast area. And then
hand over the bottle
there.
Nothing from the Sick Kid. Our runners are going to make the play into Thief Town and pull the first 4 chests at least.
All right, so if our viewers are looking for a storyline, I guess that's the early one right there. Is where's this hookshot going to be, and where are boots going to be? Because that's like the definitive advantage Ack can have over Dark right now. Other than that, just the early Dark World access, pretty vanilla. Not a whole lot going on. The blue cane being our only weapon, I guess, is the secondary. How long are we going to be without, like, say, a bow or a hammer is going to be very intriguing. Are we going to have to do blind with blue cane? That's always a fun fight, I feel. So we'll see how this kind of goes along.
Especially without half magic, you got really tight tolerances.
Oh man, if they get half magic with blue cane, it's essentially baby mode at that point. Just you're never dying in Soreless. All right, so Ack is going to go ahead and go into the Crystal Thieves Town. He's had enough. It's about 24 minutes. He wants his first crystal here. Dark Shadow is going to go and check out the Spectacle Rockin', and I imagine he wouldn't be too far behind Ack in this play to Thieves Town. He might decide to go to Skullwoods. We'll have to see when he gets in the Dark World.
Yep. And in this Swordless Seed, you might be wondering, if you're familiar with the vanilla game, hey, how are they going to cut the vines if they're running Swordless? And the answer is there are no vines. In Swordless mode, the vines in Skull Woods and the curtain in Aghanim's Tower or Hyrule Castle Tower rather, are pre-cut.
Right, and a couple of other changes that aren't really well known is basically the medallion usage. So a couple of key points that confused a lot of people is you can utilize medallions on the medallion spots to enter dungeons. So Thieves Town, Misery Mire, as long you don't need the hammer, as long as you have the medallion, you can use it. But you can't use it in Ice Palace. So kind of a weird kind of, I guess flip on how that works, but it is what it is.
I thought you could stand on the medallion pad in Ice Palace and use them.
Not without the hammer. Well, I guess you could, but you can't like get to Cold Stairs. That's why I just never feel to go there anyways. Alright, so it looks like Dark is going to do a similar theme here to Ack, and that's clear out Village of Outcasts and then go into Thieves. I don't think he's going to waste the time to go back up north at that point, and with the dungeon right there, and they have that blue cane. But the story there is he has like no magic. So there's a small magic farm in Thieves Town in the room that Ack's actually in. Down below in those 4 skull pots, there are 3 magic bottles, small decanters he can get, but it's not going to be enough for what he needs for blind.
No, because each magic decanter only restores 1/8 of the unmodified magic bar, so you're not going to have enough.
So I think he's identified that, and he's actually deciding to do the south loop first. That's very intuitive, honestly, of his situation. I feel it'd be easy to make the mistake to kind of go in with low magic and no weapon, and like even if you risk it, it's kind of reckless. But in this point, he's just gonna go make the safe play here, and maybe even farm some more magic on Digging Game, which he is getting some more magic. So that's a really sharp play by him.
Has Dark made the play to Saha's Closet to get his blue potion?
Not as of yet, but he just got a green bottle there, so he might decide to go. Who knows? We'll see how this goes. I think he's just,
I said.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna stick with South Loop. He might go north, but we'll see. All right, what's he doing? Oh, he's going back up. Yep, he wanted the magic.
Yep, now he's got it.
Yeah, and even with like he's got about 4/8 to 5/8 the bar, anyways. So, oh wait, no, he's debating me, dude.
What?
Dark, please.
Dark, what are you doing?
All right. He's just gonna take the frog. I'm just gonna be wrong on every call on Dark Side today. It's fine. I'm okay with it. I mean, this guy did take 2 wins off me, so I guess I shouldn't be giving him too hard of a time. And he gets half magic.
Oh well.
What a god.
The Debate King, apparently.
That is like what he wanted to find. He's got to be happy with that find before going to Thieves, honestly, because he can, like, exaggerating aside, he can almost like run half the dungeon with that Cane of Burn on. Obviously he can't, but yep. Figure of speech, it's gonna be a really free dungeon for him now.
So to answer a question in chat, currently AcktheBoker stands at 7 wins and 2 losses in the group stage, and DarkShadows59 has the reverse record, 2 wins, 7 losses.
All right, and Ack actually put on a pretty good fight here, utilizing his normal magic blue cane fight excellently. Knows to turn off the magic usage while he's kind of dodging around the heads. If he leaves it on with normal magic, you would not have enough. Whereas in a half magic fight, you can actually leave it on and you would have enough time. Actually, you'd have like a third left if you just left it on too. So, great fight by Ack.
Yep. He's probably since he actually vetoed Uncle Assured, meaning that he is probably pretty comfortable in Swordless, so it's no surprise.
I mean, Ack is like well vested in every mode that Randomizer has to offer in Link to the Past. Dare I say, specializes in some that are not showcased in this tournament, such as interest shuffles. So for him, this is kind of it's kind of a Sunday drive, really, being normal mode, just the Swordless.
Yeah, this is basically as close to a vanilla set of parameters as you can get, really. Dark Shadows play.
Gonna take the frog on the
catfish.
Yeah, catfish there.
I mean, that's the only thing that's up here, so no real better time to make the play. So
at this point, there's not really much else they can do. We've kind of seen everything except for Quakefish here and the Smith check-in. They could elect to double down and check the purple chest. They have Skullwoods remaining right now. They also have Pod Eastern remaining. But other than that, right now, they've essentially kind of checked everything.
Yep, so now they're hunting for their next piece of progression, and it might actually be in Hype Cave where AcktheBoker is in the vicinity right now.
I was about to say, it's going to be either Hookshot or Mirror, and there's the Hookshot. So Dark Shadows gets that... just eliminates that primary storyline of, is this a hover seed? The answer is no. And I really doubt Act does not go all the way to Quakefish here at this point. Alright, so Dark Shadow's going to cash in the Smiths. So with this hookshot found, he's going to go back up to the mountain. He's going to get our first look here of East Death Mountain, Darkwold Death Mountain area. Opens up a lot of locations here. That's 8 on the eastern side and 6 others now on the dark side. So 14 locations, can't argue with that right now in this stage of the game, being this tight on items.
Nope. But without the mirror, it's kind of an inefficient play because you have to go up actually no, it's not an inefficient play because you have a portal right there.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. And to be honest, I think they'll run into either the hammer or the mirror here. The seed's bad if either of those items don't generate next, so I'll just flat out say it. So we'll see how it goes. Ack not going to Quakefish.
Oh, that's an
all right. I'm gonna stop. I already don't like my record in this. So yeah, Axe just gonna go ahead and go to pod now.
Going to pod without either the bow or the hammer. I wonder if he's hoping to find him here. So we got 5 item checks up in the top side of Paradox Cave. We'll see what we get. And Bupkis, really.
All right, so Axe actually, I guess, influencing his decision making. He has 3 bottles, 2 of which have potions, so he's going to be able to utilize the potion glitch here to get through the mimics. That essentially is going to break the bow requirement of pod, regardless of how the key logic is laid out, minus going to Helmasaur himself, because that is hard bow locked. And he just found out that the lamp requires the hook shot, so we're probably going to see That could actually be swamp now, at that point, because we've already done the hookshot sides that are required, at least that we know of.
Yeah, and we can't get into Hookshot Cave yet without the hammer to open the Turtle Rock entrance portal.
No, they can go on up the mountain. They can get to that easy.
Oh right, the bridge isn't
Right. Alright. Dark Shadows finding the ether that is required for Myra now.
good. That's gonna be a weight off his mind.
And Act taking the Death Warp here because he does not have a hammer, doesn't have a mirror, so this is going to be the fastest way for him to get through Pod. Does have those locked keys now, so he's going to be able to basically fully traverse Pod here, hoping for some payout.
Yep, and we'll see if he finds it. And to answer in chat, CP Byron asking about how he got through the Bowlock Mimic Room, the potion glitch, if you walk to the left through a certain arrangement of rooms and you use the potion, it will actually unlock the camera from the room boundary so that you can move the camera off to the right. And the game doesn't really know that enemies can come back on screen. So if you happen to move the enemies off screen, the game will say, "Oh, the enemies are off screen. The conditions to unlock this door must be fulfilled," and so unlock the door. If it didn't do that, there are certain conditions where the presence of enemies could actually lock a room that could hard trap you in a room that happens to be on the other side of the super tile. So it's just taking advantage of I guess it's a programming oversight in the game code.
So we're seeing some finds here. Act getting bailed out by Fire Rod here in Pod, so we'll see how that progresses him. And Dark getting the ether that is also required for TR, and now he gets his lamp. So we figure out that that's the hookshot lock portion that the hint was alluding to.
Yep, and another sword replacement here in Hookshot Cave. So we would have access to Tempered in the seed if it weren't swordless.
So another good play here from Axe side was he just powdered the anti-fairy. So the reason why he's doing that is because he doesn't have a conventional weapon to get through the dark maze. So he knows he's going to take extra damage from the dongos getting through. So he just wants to get as much health as he can going through that room so he can just increase his survivability. Also to note, that fire rod is not bow locked that Ack has found in Pod here. So very interesting place. Unsure if that's going to chase him towards Ice or Skull. I imagine Skull first without the hammer. But we'll see how the remainder of the seed goes until he makes that decision. It could put him farther away from Quakefish, unless he routes that in with a north route, perhaps. So we'll see how it goes. And meanwhile, we do have Dark Shadows here electing to go into Thieves Town now. We do know there's nothing in here, but it is a crystal, and now he's loaded with that half magic and proper magic for the blind fight. So, and also with Hookshot, it's going to make it a little bit faster to get around to.
Absolutely.
All right, I think Axe is going to go towards Skull at this point with that Fire Rod.
That'd be my play, because the Fire Rod will get you into the back, and you don't need the big key. So all he has to do is make his way through.
So, kind of to touch on the early main storyline, this is a hover seed. So we know it's not a hover seed. Now it becomes a question of, is that hook shot's going to be required or useful? Right now, as of now, it's gotten us ether, which is step one of being very important, mainly because it opens up 2 dungeons. Does that medallion block either mirror or hammer at this point, or the combo of both? That would be critical for him, and it just becomes a story of when Ack's going to find the hook shot at Quakefish. On the other hand, I mean, does it spare him from maybe a meaningless Swamp Palace dive? We're just going to have to see how this kind of rolls out.
Yeah, because the hook shot is what will give you access to the backside of Swamp, and the question is DarkShadows going to make that play, given that there's a green pendant there, and I don't know if he pulled the hint that no, we haven't seen a hint for what's left side Swamp, have we?
No, we have not. But again, it would be rather intriguing if, say, there was a hint and it told him to go towards the left side and acted it without the hook shot and couldn't check the full dungeon.
Ugh.
Alright, so Ack, with that fire rod in tow, is going to check out Skullwoods here. Believe that's the first item there in the heart container. The heart piece, rather, sorry. And he's going to go ahead and check out the back half now, where there's one more item remaining. And it's looking like that fire rod will get us some progression here, so I'm kind of in the air if it's going to be either hammer or mirror at this point.
Yeah, either one would be important.
Just as a statement in chat, yes, that is correct. So the boots hint is the only one that is guaranteed in the normal hint logic, and for key sanity, the GT key is guaranteed. So they kind of swap. So you don't get really a boots hint. You could get a boots hint, but it's not guaranteed in key sanity. Whereas in regular modes, the boot hint is the guaranteed one, which I quite appreciate, to be honest.
Always good to know where those boots are.
Speaking of, it's 42 minutes. Let's go. Let's get some boots. Alright, Ack going in here with a half magic fire rod to fight. He doesn't have enough fire rod shots right now, but he does have a green potion and a blue potion, so he's more than well equipped for this fight here.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Dark Shadows, again, blue cane, half magic. Didn't even have to turn off his magic here. He's fine. Oh, he used the green bottle. I forgot for the potion glitch, so he only has the blue. So hopefully, he's got 14 more shots here, so as long as he doesn't get really trolled by the spikes, and he's a little more careful, he'll be fine.
Yep. And if anybody is wondering why, before Ack dropped into the Moth Arena, why he paused for a bit, the Wallmasters can actually grab you as you're in the process of falling into a hole, and it's a pain in the butt, and if you have it happen to you once, or you see it happen to somebody, you don't want it to happen again.
This is really clever routing from Dark here. So he's already done the Smith sequence. He's going to be able to do the purple chest now as well. This is great. But I do wonder where he's taking it. He might elect to check. There's a couple of things he can do here, but it looks like he's heading towards Skull.
Or he's...
Bumper Cave as well. That's I was wondering if this can be.
There you go.
Bumper
Yeah.
Cave.
Bumper Cave check and then dip right back into Skullwoods.
Okay. Yeah, because you can actually. I wonder if he'll do it. I imagine he will if he's taking it to Skull. But we're going to see some tomfoolery from Dark Shadow side if you guys want to pay attention to that. And Ack is going to check this big chest for a blue mail. So the fire rod not progressively worth yet. However, we do know that Ice Palace is kind of open for them, but if Ack had that hindsight, he would know he would want that hook shot in Ether. He'd probably press Meyer first if he had that item combination. So we'll see how this goes and what he decides to do.
Yep.
And it looks like he's going to chase the Smith's purple chest sequence. I can't blame him, to be honest. It's just a question of when he's going to check that Quakefish, because he definitely wants that Ether medallion.
Yep, Spiral Cave and Quakefish for Ether and Hookshot was going to give Ack what he needs. I've never seen somebody drag a chest through Skullwoods before. This is interesting.
So that's allowable because of a drop down, by the way. So in multi-level dungeons, if you drop down without the chest will just appear. But if you take it with you as a drop down, then you're allowed to. So you see him kind of pause to drop off the chest there. It's because the game wouldn't allow you to take it into a dungeon normally. Is Ack doing what I think he's going to try to do? All right, he is. He's going to go for Quakefish. All right. I was wondering, like, why are you walking all the way south? Which means I don't think he's checked Pyramid as well, other than he wouldn't go south. He would have just went north at that point. So yeah, he's definitely heading towards the Pyramid now.
We know that it's junk because Dark Shadows already checked it before, but this is just one item location you kind of want to get out of the way.
All right, so for Axe benefit, he doesn't want anything to be in this purple chest, by the way, because he's going to get that hook shot. He's going to go right to the mountain and chase that medallion at this point. And we see just a red rupee, so that's actually good for Axe side to keep it kind of even. Dark Shadows, in the meantime, he's kind of pondering what his next maneuver is going to be. And it's looking like Eastern, I think the one of two dungeons we really haven't seen so far yet, other than maybe a nice palace meme dip without the hammer. Oh no, he's going to Stash Cave first. That's right, he didn't do that as well.
Yep, which will give him that potion I was talking about before. Always struck me as a little bit weird that Sahasrahla is just no problem with you dropping a bomb in his hut.
I mean, the guy's holding an item against your will for exchange of a pendant that he's just too lazy to get. So honestly, bombing open a patched up wall is like the least of his concerns, really. It's like, yo, dog, I'm trying to save the princess, and he's like, nah, you can't have that item, bro. You need to kill Argus first. Sorry. I'd like to do it, but I'm just, I'm too old now. I can't do it anymore. You got to do it though. All right, so yeah, Dark is going to go ahead and get a scout of Eastern here. So this is something we haven't seen yet. Intriguing to see what we get, and we get a fire shield to start. That's kind of boring.
I mean, situationally useful. I've seen it be useful before, but not very often.
You know what? At this point, if you're gonna drag it out this long, Seed, just give me Hammer and Ice Palace, please. Make it spicy at this point.
Why not?
Spend enough of my time here blocking. And there's a second item, so that's a red rupee. So there's one more item remaining in Eastern. Dark Shadows does have the lamp, so vanilla big key chest is in logic for him now. So I'll be interested if there is an item there, especially if it's of importance. Although hammer in Mire would be funny, just because again you can use the medallion without the hammer, and that might be kind of a logic trick for runners if they're not familiar. Oh, that's a big hint. So the bow requires a hammer. That's big news.
Ooh, oh. So bottom of pod. Where else is hammer locked?
So Spike Cave, Swamp. Was it Hammer Pegs, Spike Cave, GT? Now we know it can't be in GT because Eastern in pod are crystals, so we can eliminate that. That's probably the biggest leverage of the hammer requires hint. But in those, Ice Palace, parts of Ice Palace are also hammer locked, and Mimics. But we know Mimics is just cash, so it can't be there.
Yeah. So,
Oh, of course TR, of course, because you need that for entry.
Yeah. Hammer pegs might be where you find the bow. That would be my guess.
All right, so the big key leading to the big key chest was progressive for the lamp, but it led to just 50 rupees. So, how unfortunate. Ack finding his ether though in Spiral Cave. That's gonna kind of put him even up now with Dark Shadows. He'll eventually get his lamp and bail. Where are runners gonna go next? Are we gonna make that play to Mire? Yes, Dark's gonna go there. Okay.
Though AcktheBoker might be a little bit up in terms of items. Where was that fire rod that I found? It was in pod, right?
Yeah, so that fire rod was in a non-bow locked portion of pod. Which is important to note because that fire rod could actually lead to progression for the hammer. Still to be determined. So this seed's kind of got a little bit of everything right now to start. Like, no weapon minus that blue cane. So they're going to have to do the kill room quite slow. Hookshot does not work against the Wiz ropes here, so he's going to have to kind of meticulously walk. But he's going to get it bailed out with all these full magic decanters, so it's not that bad. So not a whole lot going there. Ack will be able to clear it a little bit faster with that fire rod, but yeah. Whole lot of nothing going on, and being forced to go to Mire without like really the tools to complete this early is kind of Dan's game. I mean, at least give them the boots. This seed's just showing no mercy right now, and quite frankly, I'm enjoying it.
You wouldn't be saying that if you were running it.
No, I'm saying that because I'm in their group, so so it's good.
Their loss, your gain.
Yep, I win this race, guys, not them. And of course, we get a Godmire without the boots too, or the red canes. That's also nice. That's a thing. All right, so the question kind of remains, is Mire going to have the goods here for progression, or is it really going to be Ice Palace? And I'm still have my fingers crossed for Ice Palace at this point.
It would be amusing.
Oh, there's the hammer. Okay. So yeah, it was either hammer or mirror, and we got the hammer now. So I believe Dark got the hint, so he's gonna chase that right to hammer pegs right away, or at least he should. Just because he knows there's a very good chance Poe's there, and that's gonna chase him towards Pod for his fire rod. So things are really looking up for Dark Shadows right now. Mind you, Axe like in the same predicament, and he has the fire rod already, so it'll cost him a double dip. But other than that, it's not too bad. Now, I believe they got all 4 items in Thieves, did they not? Or is there still an item remaining? Do you remember?
I think they got all 4, but I know they had to abandon the big key chest because they didn't have the hammer, but I don't remember if anything could be in it.
Yeah.
Chat informing us that there is an item in these jumping chests that we didn't get.
I'm actually surprised both runners are going through the rest of Maya right now. Just getting, because they've already gotten 1 item and it's heavily progressive. They might actually not get another item here with the big key in hand, but they do anyways in the heart container. So good news is they don't have to worry about Vidi having the second item. They can just do Maya now at their leisure.
Yep. And go moding Meyer, like going right to the back, is not very time intensive at all.
Right. Alright, so Dark Shadow is going for Hera here. Not a bad play. It is a crystal, but it won't be conducive to the hint of where the bow is. Which is a little surprising just because he hasn't checked out Pod yet. He doesn't know it. He'll hit some worth there in the fire rod, but I don't know. I think I'd be more inclined to check out the hint early.
Especially with silvers in hand, your damage potential goes way up.
Right.
It's also possible he could do a spike cave check, which could potentially have the bow.
It could.
Do they want it to have the bow? No. But could it? Yes.
Alright, Act gonna make the similar play to Hera here. He does not have that knowledge yet of oh, no, never mind, he's gonna flute. He does not have the knowledge yet of what is unlocked by the hammer, so. He is going to go ahead and get some potions here, though.
Only now getting the hint that purple chest had cash in it.
That's why he's getting magic or potions. Okay, so he's going to make the early ice play.
Not a terrible play.
No, he's flexing on the fire rod being in a non-bow lock side of Pod. So he's trying to maximize the worth of that by going to Ice Palace right now. So it is pretty clever, and he's going to get 3 pieces of information here from the hints. And there we go. We see another hint that just states on Dark Shadow side that a unique item is going to be an Ice Palace. So a unique item can be a variety of things, not just progressive. I believe it can also be the single arrow, or so I've been told. Which would be the maximum troll, I guess. But good chance. Oh, there it is, the mirror. So that's Swamp Palace now open. That's Graveyard. That's K45. Not too shabby. Checkerboard's now also open. Desert's open now. So yeah, that mirror just opened the seed wide open now.
Yep. And then the question is, when is Dark Shadows going to make his way over to Ice? Probably pretty soon. They don't really have anywhere else to go.
Well, Ack might not be done because, of course, he might be able to get some a friendly bow here as well if the hint is double inclusive of a unique item and the hammer locked having a unique item here.
I suppose, yeah, an item being on Cold here would technically be locked by the hammer, wouldn't it?
Yep, and also the right side minus the Spike Room chest in Ice would also be inclusive of the bow because everything is hammer lock, peg lock behind those two chests. And Dark actually going to check out this Spike Cave here. And just a red rupee, so we take that out of the equation. Right now, I mean, we have hammer pegs and we have ice, it seems. We also have swamp now available for that hammer hint.
Yep.
The hook shot's held by someone friendly. I don't know about that fish being friendly, personally.
I mean, he's certainly not an enemy. And although, in the vanilla game, I think if you throw something else at him after he gives you the Quake Medallion, he actually attacks you. So maybe not friendly.
Oh, he does that in Randomizer as well. Yeah, he just up and throws a bomb at you. Doesn't sound very friendly to me, honestly. Alright, Dark Shadow's actually checking out Magic Bat here. We know that that's not inclusive of the hint because you could just utilize the mirror. So when the game states that something is, say, for example, hammerlocked, it means inclusive to it only being hammerlocked. Whereas something like the Magic Bat would not be considered hammerlocked because you can utilize a mirror to get there as well. Okay, so we know the right side is not the bow in Ice. So we do have one more, which is Cold Stare, but I'm not quite sure on the item count on Ack's side.
Unfortunately, neither am I. That's a part of the rando that I haven't really gotten a hold on.
Oh, baby. He's getting bailed out so good. This guy, dude. This guy. So I guess that was the third item because he's going right to cold.
The value.
Boots and Ice, what a meme. I'm not even playing this seed, I'm hating it from here. But I guess an hour in is not that bad, considering some other seeds. And there's the bow, hammer locked in the hammer peg.
Yep, that's what we thought.
That's a tough spot for Ack to route now. With the boots, with the fire rod, with the mirror. He's got options that are not hammer pegs right now. So that's going to be interesting. What could save him here is the fact that Swamp is a pendant. So he might devalue that for Overworld, which in his case would help him greatly. But we'll have to just wait and see how this goes. Meanwhile, Dark Shadow's going to cash in the worth of that bow. He's going to avoid Ice Palace for now. And going to go and finish off Eastern to Pod. Kind of surprising he's not taking the Dark World route to do Pod Eastern together. But hey, I guess he's just going to flute on over to 5 and do it afterwards.
I mean, without the mirror, Pod Eastern play isn't...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm getting confused between Ack's side. Good call.
But Ack would be able to do that very, very nicely. But then again, I mean, like you said, where's he gonna go? Where is his item count gonna take him?
Well, unsurprisingly, he's gonna check out the bootlock locations just because it's pretty deep in the chain. It just becomes a question of what does he do after that at this point? Does he consider that he's like really close to the item location of Magic Bat and Hammer Pegs that he knows is still not to be done? I believe Purple Chest on his side is still to be done as well. So we'll have to see what he prioritizes. Is it going to be dungeons or is it going to be the overworld here?
I mean, he's heading up. Where's he going? Buck Rocks. And then he might dive back to Kakariko's because he's there.
Nah, I think he's going to go and check Lumberjacks now because it's progressively available.
Well, after an Aghanim kill.
Right, but he has all the equipment for it.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what he's going to do right now. So he's going to scout it out because he does have the boots, which was the final piece of that puzzle.
Oh, nope. See what he does. Nope, he's going up that mountain.
This is good.
Take that mirror and dive into Hera.
Is it good? No, it's not. Never mind. I was thinking about where the hint was, and it was in Eastern, unfortunately, which the bow might as well have been there. But he's going to be able to access Hera much quicker than Dark Shadows did because he will have that mirror for the quicker shortcut. Alright, so I guess how the story is developing this seed now is Dark Shadows right now has the bow. AcktheBoker right now has the boots and mirror. I'd be inclined to say Ack might have the edge here just because he has the boots, and it's going to make him quite faster throughout the dungeons that Dark Shadows is going to do. So overall, he'll gain time on him. But it just becomes a question of when Dark Shadows decides to do Ice Palace, I feel. We don't know if boots are required, nor if the mirror is required, but right now, unless Pod Helmet has nothing, or unless it has something, sorry, they were pretty much stalled towards mirror locked locations, I would say. And not getting that hint of his unique haul that he found in Ice Palace. It's not just one unique item, it is two, but I don't think he really minds on that.
Probably not.
Alright, so the unfortunate news is that now that AcktheBoker has boots in... Thank you!
Oh.
Thank you. No, that's so ironic. I was about to say, since AcktheBoker has boots in Hera, he's kind of become a little notorious of hovering the Moldorm 2 gap after he kills Moldorm, so that's just karma right there, catching up to him. It's fine, guys. It's fine.
Just for that, he's going to do it first time in Moldorm 2.
What I want to see is the hover and the fail, and then it's just like a double dip or triple dip on Moldorm, but he's too strong on the hovers. He's not going to fail it, right, guys? Ack, please. There we go. I was going to say Ack, please. Is he? I don't think he's. Is he going to do it? Oh, he's tempted. He's like, no, I already fell once. Come on. Aw. All right.
Oh, no meme
He's
hovers.
going to get some flack from me. The guy literally put as our race title yesterday for game 2 was like the Moldorm 1 hover versus the non-Moldorm 1 hover.
Oh,
Yeah.
the shade.
But yeah. Alright, so Axe gonna go ahead and check Spike Cave. He's gonna get his big 20 from here. Dark Shadows in a fully enveloped pod. He's gonna be able to single dip this to his benefit. I'll be a tad slower without the boots. But I think just only single dipping it, he's gonna win on the time there. So he'll have that done. He'll have what, 4 crystals to Axe 3 right now. And he's gonna be pressing the ice next. And again, unless Helma has an item, it's pretty much mirror lock locations are going to be the winner here. Which begs the question, what's our next progressive item going to be? And I think right now it stands to seem it's probably going to be the red cane. It could surprise me and be like a fetch quest, like a mushroom, powder, shovel. We haven't seen any of those yet. Sorry, we've seen the powder. But other than that,
the backs of the hot cave.
Yeah, other than that, we're tied into like a major progressive item. And really, red cane's going to open up the most locations for our runners right now, so that we have not seen at least, other than that mirror. And Axe making the play. He's going to get his bow here and hammer pegs.
Yep. And that's going to just open the seat back up for him.
Yeah, he really doesn't have too much left to do anyways. I think this was actually it, other than, you know, EGing through to Helma, which is very against the rules.
Bam.
So, and there's that bow.
Yep. So the brain play here would be pod to Eastern, chain through the mirror. And it's just going to be interesting to see if he does that. But he's going to check the magic bat first.
I mean, with hindsight 20, I feel like Swamp is definitely going to be the play. How this is going, again, just risking what items versus 6, but he's definitely going to want to finish off pod. Being a crystal, being that he hasn't gone to Eastern yet, that's the main factor of why he's going to go to Eastern pod. He has not seen what's in there yet. We know it's nothing, but he doesn't know that, so he's definitely going to leverage that as 2 crystals versus 1 pendant. Especially like a slow pendant like a Swamp. It's a very bad dungeon, really, for a runner to kind of try and route in.
Its only saving grace is that gunboating Swamp is not slow.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Just in general, especially for a pendant scenario, it's very risky to apply and route, just because the time spent in that dungeon is very great compared to other plays available to you. In most instances, it's almost a loser in a lot of categories of how you can apply it to a route. But yeah, so it feels like, again, unless Helma has that item, Axe can be pretty much forced to go there. I believe Dark Shadows as well will be forced to go there. Oh yeah, no, he has ice still, so he'll probably do ice first at this point. And he's going to have to because no mirror. So we're getting a couple of questions in chat about like item dashing and hammer dashing and all the sorts. So in Swordless, what's applicable is still item dashes, medallion dashes, that sort of thing on stairwells. Actually, item dashes are actually better in Swordless because you don't have charged spins to deal with. So if you're going up flights of stairs like in Eastern, it's much quicker to do item dashes in Eastern more effectively than it would be with a sword because you don't have to worry about releasing the charge. So I can just hold B and dash up those stairs like lightning fast versus a sword. What you can't do, the main one, is the hammer dash. So in saving spots like hammer pegs, you cannot item dash. The game code will not allow you to. It actually makes it appear that you have a sword for some reason in the sprite code. So you just can't do it. That's about it. Everything else is pretty applicable.
Code's got more spaghetti than a Clint Eastwood movie.
That's a good one. Speaking of spaghetti, Helmet having nothing but spaghetti, so I guess I guess Swamp Palace is gonna be the play.
Not exactly the play you want to make, but it seems to be our fate today.
Well, unsurprisingly, both runners are putting it off. I mean, Dark has to because he's forced ice now, and Axe definitely gonna again weigh those crystals versus the pendant dive right now. So that's gonna put him at what, 5 crystals? He's gonna be in pretty good shape right now for an hour and probably 18, 19 by the time he's done Eastern.
Yep.
Dark not too far behind though. There's just no way it's gonna be overroll, guys. There's no way. I promise.
And that's a Solsky promise.
I've been like 0-4 today, so I wouldn't go bet the farm on that, guys. Yeah, how does that quote go again? You're right 50% of the time, 100% of the time, or something? Yeah, it's something like that today for me. It's pretty bad, but here we are.
This is the world we live in.
Alright, so yeah, Dark's in ice. He's gonna get his mirror in his boots. He's gonna be happy and thrilled with that. He'll have some boot lock locations to go to. I'll be interested to see if he does do some of the mirror lock locations. With the boots, he'll get an out to check out the above the post check, which is going to be the graveyard. And I feel for both runners, they have outs to check out K45 on their way to Swamp, which is, I would say, normal play, especially if mirror's late. Oh, and I've completely overlooked that. I think I brought it up earlier, but they do have Desert available. But again, kind of a... I don't know what you would pick if you pick Swamp or Desert at that point. Because it's 2 versus 6, and Desert's typically longer for just 2 items versus 6 items in Swamp.
Plus the green pennant.
Yeah, so that's 7 for Swamp Palace then, at that point, if you want to add that in. I guess they have pedestal now too. Not that I really want to advocate that.
No.
Lowbrow C distribution, but it could happen.
And since we haven't seen a hint about the west side of Swamp Palace, it still is 7. It could be 5 if we were to get a hint telling us that left side is garbage, but we haven't gotten one yet, and I don't know if we're going to. DarkShadow's finally getting the boots. Now he can go fast.
All right, we're gonna see a nice strat there from Ack in Swordless there. He doesn't have the red cane, which would be the optimal strat, but the next best thing is that Cane of Perna. Just utilize it and take out the slimes there in very quick succession. And he has his 5th crystal now, hour 20 in. Considering how the seed's gone, that's pretty good pace. And Dark Shadow's not too far behind here. He'll have his 5th in about another minute and a half or so. So, if people are wondering who's ahead or behind, I would say Ack's probably ahead by about a minute and a half right now.
Which is by no means an insurmountable lead. Ack could lose it very rapidly in any of these dungeons or GT.
So I would say the next decision will kind of swing the favor in either way of these runners. So Ack's going to go ahead and choose Desert here. Dark has 3 plays available to him when he kind of gets out of ice, and that's Overworld, that's Desert, and that's Swamp Palace. So if he goes Swamp and Ack goes Desert, and Desert's dry, then no pun intended, but if it's nothing, then that's going to put Dark Shadows back on even pace with Ack. Oh, there's the hint. So
Ack getting a very good hint.
Yes, he did. So what was that hint?
It was a compass and map, I believe. Nope, compass and the SP big key. So
that could be the map. That could be an item. So that's something Ack's gonna weigh in. He's not gonna do left side now that he knows that information. He's gonna wait and see how the pathway to Argus goes if he is required to go there, depending on what his next choices are going to be.
Oh,
yo, he gets an ice rod in a pendant desert. That is nasty. That's nasty right there. Dark Shadows has to go to desert next, or he's going to be in big trouble. I think
he's going to fall way behind,
or he's going to want to hope that like Red Cane's here too.
Yeah. And since we haven't seen all of the dungeon items, it's possible that AcktheBoker could be drawn to Landmolus. If we get the map here, we don't need to go to Landmolus. Because we've seen the key, we've seen the compass, and we've seen the red mail, so we're out of here.
That's a sexy item in Swordless, honestly. Like normal mode, red mail, half magic. Like this is his dream right now. He's essentially baby's first Swordless right now with all the items they have, but he's not going to argue it in a tournament match. He's going to be happy with that find.
Yep, and now with Ack having the knowledge that he doesn't need to do Landmolus, and that left side of Swamp is struttering his garbage, he's in a commanding position.
All right, where's Dark Shadows going to go now? I think he might actually do that Boots and Graveyard check. So that's sharp. If that has Canis Maria, he's going to be looking good, I think. Again, all indicative of what Ack does next, but that Ice Rod find before the Canis Maria is huge. That just pushes his go mode so much faster ahead now.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see what's here in the graveyard for him. For Dark Shadows, I mean.
Question in chat: can Ack cover the TR Torture Room? Badly. He can, but badly. Got him.
Damn.
Yeah, he's a hover boy, and we get the mirror shield from Dark Side. So,
not
not quite what he's looking for. It's okay, I guess. The only place I would actually like mirror shield is honestly, is Mimics 1 and 2 in GT. But other than that, not really too useful in Link to the Past. And he's following suit, so he's gonna go ahead and check this as well. I think he's playing very defensive now, which I think is a good idea. He knows he's ahead with that Ice Rod, and he's just gonna make sure he's not losing because of, say, bad item placement. He just kind of goes for a Pendant Swamp play.
Yeah, the cane is somewhere it could be on the pedestal. We don't want it to be, but it very well could be.
So we got another question in chat. Can Ack cover Dussolski? This interview is over. I will defer that question. All right, both our runners making the play here to Swamp. So I hate to say it, but if Red Cane is in Swamp, this is like Ack's race to lose at this point, because you're gonna run into Red Cane, Ack's gonna be in go. Dark Shadows runs into Red Cane, he's gonna go right up to TR and hope the Ice Rod's there. So it's really unfortunate. And actually, they're both doing that early play I mentioned too. Is you're gonna go to K45, smart routing here. It's a very good leverage bet. It doesn't cost a lot of time, and they're right next to the checks. This is a good, strong play from both of the guys here.
Absolutely. Oh, hey.
Oh, and there's the. Oh no, that's even worse. He needs to go to desert. He needs to go to desert here to keep this close. This is it. This is the final play, guys. This is the final play of the game here. Where do you go, Dark? Do you go if he's fluting?
Ooh.
Viddy has an item. Oh baby. Oh, and he's going for mirror. He's gonna go to desert. Oh my god, this is good. This is gonna be close. He's gonna go to desert and he's gonna get his go. Oh my god. Okay, this is great. Oh, he's gonna go checkerboard. Is he gonna go to desert though?
And then he's right by desert. Does he dip? He's gotta, but does he?
I wouldn't say he's gotta. I mean, it's a stronger play too, but just because we know
I mean, he's gotta dip DP to find the Ice Rod.
Right, and it's another pendant dungeon though. So it's again, what is he gonna do? He's gonna mirror. Okay, so he's gonna get his Ice Rod. All right, so AcktheBoker now in go mode. He's on his way to go on over to Vitreous. Dark Shadow is gonna be right on his heels here. He's gonna get his Ice Rod in about a minute here. Just has to get that big key first, and then he'll be on his way to mire into TR. So Swamp Palace actually not being required, but that hookshot was required because it required to the hammer, which led to the mirror. Actually, no, sorry, the mirror was not hammer locked, so technically the hookshot was not required.
I mean, it got you. It actually was because the hook got you the lamp.
Yep. No, it was the ether medallion. So you would need the hammer and the mirror, and yeah.
What's the ether medallion?
So the ether medallion was in East Death Mountain.
Yeah, but it was Spiral Cave.
Spiral Cave, right? But you couldn't access it without the hookshot, because that led to the hammer in Mire, and the mirror would have made that redundant anyways, because you couldn't get over there without the hammer. I'm a stoops. It's okay. Sometimes.
It's okay. The randomizer makes fools of all of us.
All right, so Ack having a slight lead here, and I call it slight just because GT route could define this race, but it's unlikely. It just depends on what our runners are feeling for the day. Do they go left or right? But right now, Ack does have about a minute and a half lead, I'd say. 2 minutes, we'll call it. Not that big of a margin, really, but it is going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a couple more than 2 falls, again in fall. It's not significant, not commanding.
Right, and Ack is just better prepared for it too, item-wise right now, inventory. He has the red mail. He has a couple blue potions still remaining in his inventory from his earlier stock. So he's going to be just fine, honestly, going for the climb. Like, he runs into any kind of issue at all, which I doubt he will, 14 Hearts Red Mail. But if he does, then he has 2 extra lives, essentially, that will kind of bail him out.
Yeah. And the only other major difference in our runners' item packs right now is Dark Shadows has a mirror shield, but that's not gonna tip the balance at all.
All right, so Ack is racing his way on over to TR. It's his final crystal here. It is a Fat Fairy crystal, but we do not need to check it here. We are in straight go. Dark Shadow is just maneuvering his way through the spooky area of Mire, and he's about to enter his Vitreous fight. Again, about a minute and a half buffer away from Ack right now. So really, really tight race we have here between both our runners in this defeat Ganon goal standard swordless normal mode.
And I would like to take this time to say that if you like what you're seeing from our runners, do make sure to give them a follow on Twitch. They're putting on an amazing show, as well as follow our speed gaming channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, and then ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5. If you want to see games done fast, there are many games to be seen on those channels. This is just a go mode Turtle Rock, which isn't markedly faster than a regular Turtle Rock, but we don't have to worry about anything.
And there's the mushroom. They gotta be so happy they have that ice rod going in, because now running into a fetch quest like that too. Mind you, they do have the flute, but it just would be annoying because you might consider bailing and catching in the mushroom and then coming back up as a risk play. So
yeah,
yeah. Again, they're just ecstatic to be going up with ice rod here. Nice chain chomp there.
Thanks, chain chomp.
Alright, so Axe activating the switch there just to make it a little bit faster going through the next couple of rooms that require switches.
Oh, barely avoids that beam.
Alright, so Ack electing to go for the big chest here. I'm not a fan of this play, but it is what it is. Very good chance that you'll get a key in the next 5 upcoming chests. That more or less dictates that you don't need to check that big chest, but it's more of a safety play. If you are wrong on that play and you happen to not get a small key, then it's like a minute and a half time loss around. So I guess, yeah, you know what? He didn't make the right play. I forgot. Sorry. He didn't have a small key going in, so never mind. I'm Stoops again. You made the right play. I completely ignored his key count. I just saw him go for the big chest. I was like, wait, what's that? It's just funny. I was right for the wrong reasons, guys. Alright, so first laser chest is going to be bombs. Heart container. And there's a small key. So Axis is going to bail here. Yo, my man uses very nice strats on Trinex there, abusing the half magic and swordless.
Nearly a clinic.
Yeah, there we go. So you have options when you have half magic. You can either elect to do the regular strats, or you can actually do a combination of 2 hammer strikes and I believe it's 7 fire rod strikes. Something in around there, but basically, yeah, you're just able to spam fire rod on that Trinex head, and it allows you to dodge a little easier. So it's a good play, honestly, to abuse it when you can. All right, Clay. I guess we start at the thing again. Do you want to explain to chat how this works?
All right. So, with AcktheBoker heading into Gannis Tower, there are 22 item locations where we can possibly find the big key. Pick a number 1 through 22, and if you get it right, and you have either subbed to any of the Speed Gaming channels or donated a cumulative 250 bits, you get a chance to be on our leaderboard. Where do you normally like to see it when you're commentating? Hate to see it when you're running.
I mean, I've experienced it enough. I'm really impartial where it is. It is what it is. I always like to see it in the fire bar, though, personally. Just in both.
Same here.
I've just always picked it.
I haven't seen it be in the fire bar yet, but I always guess fire bar.
Definitely one of the more rare locations, just because it does require a small key in logic to get to, so it doesn't tend to spawn there as much, if that makes sense, but it is what it is. Ack electing to go right side here. Dark Shadow is going to be hopping into his Trinex fight here. Sets up nicely for the first phase fight. Looks like he's going to get optimal with the 5 strikes first. Oh, I just missed the head strike on that 5th strike there.
Oh.
He's going to be able to recover nicely.
3 and 4, Shovel and Big 20, and we got Green Rupee and Bombs in 5 and 6.
Alright, Dark Shadow also applying similar strats to Axe Fire Rod strats here. And just purely Fire Rods him, which is nice. Only going to go through another 2 phases, so pretty steady fight for him so far. Now, with right side being devoid, if Dark does go left, he's going to catch up some time on Ack here, which is going to be nice to keep it close.
Yep, and if Dark Shadow elects to go full left side, he's going to pick up even more time.
Ack, please.
Oh! Yay! The madman!
You know, I shouldn't rip into him that bad. I do that quite often on my stream too, but still, Turning race, bro. You're in GT.
10 and
Stop
11
it.
and nothing.
Yeah, stop it. All right, so he gets Bombos, completely useless to him in a swordless match. He would never use that in a regular swordless match anyways, unless it was like maybe an Randomizer race. And we actually get the bug net. Okay, so that's a big find. So we didn't get the big key in the firebar room, but we get the bug net. Dare I say a critical piece of equipment in swordless. As Act doesn't hit the switch. I don't know why, but anyways, so the bug net's really nice because it's gonna make Aga2 much more palatable,
much more consistent.
Yeah, because now you're not gonna have to worry about like the clones kind of messing you up as you're trying to hammer one by one, and you can chain together doubles and triples much easier now than you would with a hammer.
Oh yeah, using a hammer is torture. I've seen it happen. It's not fun. We're coming off an item number 12 here. It's just a piece of heart.
All right, so Dark Shadows actually went pure left, so he didn't even go to the right side, so he doesn't have that small key. Now that's interesting because I don't think there was a key in the hookshot room, so he's actually going to have to pass on that bug net unless there's a key there.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, there was a key. Never mind.
13 through 16 for AcktheBoker, 15 having bombs, and 16 being just a piece of heart. So we got 6 more chests to go.
Oh, he's doing Dark Magician strats. Okay, so he's going to go to hookshot room, and he's going to go right side. So that's not good, because we know there's nothing on right side, but I think at this point he's just going to commit to go to Ice Armos after that.
This is going to be items 18 is 18 is Bob's chest, I think. Blue potion. 19 through 21 are the Ice Armos chests. And we'll see which it is. We'll see what order he takes these chests in. Not having good luck with the Ice Armos. They're just juking him left and right. There's 21. Big key in 21. Right before tile room. So now AcktheBoker's just heading straight up the gauntlet.
All right, so the correct guess for the first sub or supporter was Christo Cap. Not sure if it's a Christos Owen alt account on Twitch, but we'll take the win nonetheless. Congratulations, dude. And thank you for the continued support of the Speed Gaming Network.
Ack just flying through the gauntlet.
Yeah, he is executing it quite well. Sticking to the silvers, I don't know. I personally would switch to Fire Rod here, being half magic inclined. And yeah, that's what he's going to do here. He's had enough. The Sazags are not cooperating at all. That's great. Yeah, I'm going to make quick work of the next couple of gauntlet rooms here, and he's going to be able to handle... He's got 3 blue potions, guys. He's fine. He's going to be able to go to the Lamo fight well-equipped now. I'm going to stick with Fire Rod as well.
taking landmills 2 down with no trouble at all.
And meanwhile, Dark kind of hot on his heels here. Just going through Mimics 1 and 2. So he's got some ground to catch up, but the race is not over by any stretch. It's not going to be over until the dot done's in.
Yep. It'd be so easy for Ack to just take a tumble off Ganon or fail Mortal however a couple times if he wants to be a meme lord.
As a real talk, kind of bigger scenario right now is Dark Shadows is missing the bug net right now, so that's gonna make for a longer Aga 2 fight. And being in his spot behind, that's not gonna bode well for him though.
Ack waiting for the door to close because you can do a really nasty despawn if you try to hit the stairs too fast, and you have to reset the tower.
Which is it's a weird timing, honestly, to despawn. I've never personally done it. I know I've had some close calls with it and being aggressive, but it's never seemed to get it. And anytime I feel like the timing is off, I just kind of bail on it and wait. And yeah, of course it's gonna cover. Why wouldn't he?
The legend
follows up with long strats on the block pushes. Because why not?
Because it's Ack.
He's like, hey, here's that time save I just got from the hover. I'm just gonna spend it on the blocks now. And also, Ack is a strong, independent Link to the Past runner and does not need no bug net, so he's just gonna go with hammer strats here.
Just because.
I don't have an answer why. He's just doing it for the sake of doing it, I guess.
I mean, he does know you're commentating. Maybe he's trying to show you up. Me.
It's working. It's working right now. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little PJ Salt there. I'm like, really, dude? Must be nice when you're like in command of your group and can just like, hey, I'm just gonna swag.
You're gonna have words for him, aren't you?
Nothing I already haven't said to him, so it's fine. But yeah, Ack learning about his delicious breakfast for his insights on the swordless Ganon fight. He's actually got a really good phase 1 pattern here. And he's gonna get the god pattern for phase 2. This is disgusting, dude. He got really good RNG here. He's actually not there. We go. I was gonna say, he's not set up properly, but now he's on the left to right. Red mail, he's just not gonna carry. He's gonna touch Ganon twice here and still not die because red mail life. Gonna get a couple warps here, but phase 3 going swimmingly for him so far. Dark Shadows just about to finish on the left side here. His Moldorm 2 fight, so he's about to approach Aghanim 2. Will be forced to not utilize the bug net here.
Yep. And he's going to have a markedly bigger problem with Ganon, being that he's only in green mail. He did not find the blue mail in Skullwoods in Mothula Big Chest or the red mail in Desert Palace, so he's going to be not exactly loving life.
I do believe he still has his blue potion. He hasn't utilized it yet in the race, so he does have that. But other than that, yeah, he should be fine, honestly, though, with that many hearts and blue mail and 1 blue potion.
Red mail?
Yeah. Alright, there we go. And Ack is done. Just has to cross the bridge now. Maybe he'll hover it. Who knows?
Oh,
Maybe
that will be memes.
Yeah, I doubt he hovers it, guys.
Probably no, he didn't.
All right, so Ack has crossed the bridge, and he's going to be our first place finisher of this matchup with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 41 seconds. Great run by him.
And we have him in the setup room now. Let's see if we can pull him in.
Dark Shadow's not too far behind here, about the 150 mark, just going through his Agnum 2 fight now. Again, forced hammer only, but it's going through it pretty swimmingly, actually, and gets through it quite nicely.
Just finishes down. Congratulations on your first place finish, Jack.
Thanks, guys. GG.
Yo, great race.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice hover memes.
Oh, what are you talking about? They were all time saves.
I got one question.
Yeah.
Chat's been asking it like crazy. Why didn't you hover Moldorm 1?
I already got middle hold once in the fight. That kind of, I think I was mentally prepared to do it, and then I got tossed into the middle hole, and my confidence was shattered.
I was gonna say, suggest that if you did do it, I would have said like, what a god, but nah.
And it was also because I wasn't
happening.
racing against Solsky either, so that's another reason why I didn't do it. Yeah, I can't help that.
I had a lot of good things to say about that. I didn't laugh at you at all, so just trust me, don't watch the restream. Just yeah.
Dude, he turned on a dime. I was like, I got him, and then he was just like, by the way, surprise attack, and then I Farami'd it, so whatever.
That's the perfect way of putting it. But yeah, I think the word karma came out of my mouth.
Definitely did.
But yeah.
Fair enough. I think you're right. I did deserve it.
But that was pretty good execution all throughout the seed.
The seed was very tough. You had so many just, I guess, multiple bad decisions to make, and it was like, yeah. I hope I just don't make as many bad decisions as my opponent. The hook shot was like, all the way at Catfish. You had to take that all the way up to Spiral Cave to get Ether, then go all the way to Mire to get your hammer. Like, well, of course. Why didn't I, think of that a little faster?
Right. And Dark Shadows did elect to do that play first and did get the hook shot. So you were in pod, I think, right around the same time he got his hook shot and was going to East Death Mountain. And really, what saved you there was getting that fire rod in pod just because the bow was so late. It really did bail out at that point.
I guess. Yeah, it was really weird. I did figure that was probably a play he would have made. The only thing I felt like that was a saving grace for me was I didn't go into Swamp Palace, even though I was contemplating it ever since I finished Ice Palace. It gives you the mirror, and it was like, Swamp Palace is now your best, bet. And I'm like, but I don't want to. So
I mean, ultimately it was a really good call for you to go to Desert first anyways, like regardless how you slice it, just because you did run into the Ice Rod first. It was such a big play for both you runners. Our runners here, as Dark Shadows is just finishing his Ganon fights. Equally as good, I would say, for lower grade equipment. He only had green mail for this fight too, so GG's to him. And he's going to finish actually with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 17 seconds. So a very close race between you two.
Yeah, it's not surprising. I guess as long as you didn't go off the rails too much, it seemingly felt linear just because the bad decisions that ended up needing to be made were probably the least bad decisions available, so it doesn't surprise me.
Right.
And we have Dark Shadows here in the setup room. Let's see if we can pull him in for an interview. Congratulations, Dark Shadow. Good race.
Hey, thanks. That key rat, though.
It was out for blood.
Oh my god, I highlighted that too at the start too. It was pretty bad. Like, you threw bombs and he would stop on a dime, like where you were anticipating him to go. It was pretty bad. Like, there's nothing you could have done there other than maybe run into him, but still, it was really bad luck for that to happen like 3 times.
Yeah, usually I can always just go into the room, drop the bomb, throw it over to the left over by the torch, and that's where the key rat is. And yeah, that didn't happen.
It was great. But yeah, So now that I got you both in here, so the big play I want to highlight is that both of you getting the red cane at the exact same time, and Ack actually electing to go to desert first was his saving grace because he was red cane indigo. I think in his position he probably would have went to TR if he got that red cane, and then for yourself you got red cane first, and then just electing to check, be safe and check desert was such a good play because. I mean, you go to TR without that ice rod. It's multiple hazards there. We ran into the mushroom. You get the option to bail and check that, and go back up the mountain for nothing. It was really good that you guys both made that play to keep it tight.
Yeah, when I got it, I knew I was still ice rod from go mode, and I knew I had to clear Mire, but I already had both items out of there. So it was just one of those safety plays. I was not going to kill Land Molus if it came up, so thank goodness the ice rod was not on Land Molus.
Yeah.
Yep. And you missed the males. The red male was actually the one progressive male upgrade is waiting for you on the other side of the desert, but you made the completely understandable play of bouncing once you found the ice rod.
Yeah, against someone like Ack, the moment you hit go, if you think you can do it, you gotta do it. I think the only extra chests I checked was the 4th chest on Laser Bridge and Moldorm's chest.
Wait, he spawns a chest? Since when? Sorry.
Not all of us can hover.
Yeah, it's not the only place you hover, but I'm just gonna leave that for the replay.
The saving grace for me finding the ice rod before the cane was actually the bow location. If there was nothing in like hammer pegs, probably specifically hammer pegs, I was on my way south and I would have found the cane next, and then I would have been stuck in that decision whether or not to do desert or just be like, well, it's always in Turtle Rock, let's go, you know.
That's actually a very good point.
Yeah, by the time I found I had the hint saying that the bow was hammer locked, and my only 2 hammer locked locations were hammer pegs or that one chest in Thieves Town.
Oh yeah, I guess in Swamp too. But yeah, I think every hint that I found was a hint for an item that I had probably found like less than 5 minutes prior. It was funny. I was like, oh, yep, I did find that 2 minutes ago. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, whereas Dark Shadows was actually getting a clean cycle of hints, so he actually went to Eastern early and knew about the bow-locked hammer, and then I believe went to Hera and knew about Ice Palace having unique items. So it was just it was really well how that routed in for him. Whereas kind of comical how you already had items and then it was telling you like the next dungeon.
Oh, did he did he do Hera before he had the mirror?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when I was going into Eastern because I was still limited on locations, and I was just thinking, please tell me something about the bow. Or actually, no, at that point it was the hammer. Please tell me something about the hammer. It's like hammer locks the bow. Well, I guess that works.
It's not on Armos.
Well, do you guys have any closing thoughts about the seed or about the tournament in general?
Oh, tournament's been fun. I feel like I'm starting to feel a little bit fatigued from all these games and all of these insane modes. Maybe that was just my Solski Gauntlet yesterday, though. That was that one was pretty rough. The swordless back-to-back Randomizer races. I almost forgot that you could use the hook shot on the fire bar or the torches in Turtle Rock, just because you know where our hook shot was in both those races. I was like, oh right, I can actually do this for once. Yeah. But nah, thanks for the commentary. Thanks for the restream. Thanks for tracking. I also can't help to say, but I feel like Solski might not have been rooting for me this race, given the situation in groups. So
I was by your side the whole time.
I don't believe you
Not
one
say
day.
a bad word. ever.
By his
Again,
side with a
just trust me.
hammer in your hand.
with a dagger in his hand or what? No, it was awesome, guys. I always appreciate it. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for running.
I'll be happy on my next race to get a sword back. This is my 10th race, and 5 of them have been swordless.
This guy takes like the hard inverted swordless match off me. He's like, no, dude, I don't want it. I want swords again. Please.
Well, details.
I can apologize to you for our game one, Dark Shadows. Me picking the same settings Solsky picked against you. Since this is our last series, it'll probably be our last interview. But I am sorry, but I did do that intentionally to try and bully. But you know, I'll apologize for now.
Yeah, turning it into all dungeons
For now.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a mean guy.
I can confirm. So, yeah, you guys have any final thoughts? We vote good here.
I've got nothing. GG's, guys. GG's, Dark.
Round,
Yep,
guys.
GG.
GG's.
All right, and that's gonna be about to do it for us. Clay, you want to round us out here?
Sure. If you're looking for more Link to the Past Randomizer, we got races going on now on Speed Gaming 5. We got Azaz vs. Priya 57. They're doing a Ganon standard randomized sword. So almost the same thing we did here, but they're going to have swords. At 6:30, we have Big Donka vs. Thalane. Speed Gaming 2. They're doing an Uncle Assured Retro Seed. Retro is a very interesting mode. I would recommend dropping in on it if you have the time. It's really interesting to see. And then later tonight on ALTTP Randomizer, we have McLagging versus Matt7898, and they're doing a standard Randomizer seed. That's a really fun. You may want to watch that.
All right, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm out of here. See you, Clay.
I'm out of here too. Thanks for commentating with me, Solsky.
Not a problem. Take care, everyone.
Have a good one.